This is just a summary video of a project build that I did last year. I took an older CRF450 and modernized it and ended up selling it to Grant Langston and his dad last fall out at Glen Helen. So the purpose of this video is really just to show you what I did. Did a similar project on a 2004 CRF450 that I rebuilt the previous year, but basically picked up this engine and CDI and carburetor for real cheap, and then I bought the frame and all of the suspension off of eBay and restored all of those components. Those videos are on the YouTube page, SoCal.hondabuild. Here's the rear shock that I'm working on. I went through the front forks. I have instructional videos on how I took all of this apart and did all of this. Here's the rear shock linkage. Obviously it was shot. Here I am going through and cleaning out those casings, and then I pressed new bearings in to that linkage. So this bike really is a rebuild from the ground up. Here's the swing arm that I used. I ended up building my own wheels with gold anodized pro wheels and red anodized CNC hubs. Here I am splitting the cases on the engine. I replaced the crank and went all the way through the top end, inspected all of the bottom end, but I ended up replacing all the valves in the head and reconditioning the head, redid the guides, brand new valve guides, and went through the entire engine. So here's the build starting from scratch and then getting the wheels under it. It was a step-by-step process. Then I modernized it with newer plastics. I went with OEM 2017 plastics. In order to do that, I had to build my own mounting brackets. So I used a cutting tool and some thin metal that I bought at Lowe's to make these brackets. Again, I have instructional videos on all of this on the website, but from the radiator shrouds to the number plates to the brackets on the tank to hold those plastics on there. Here's the project, the finished product, what it looked like when I finished it up. Ended up finishing it in June of 2021. Brand new Renthal bars, power bomb header, new radiators, new plumbing, and the bike really turned out pretty clean. Went with a new exhaust system. So the build turned out really clean. Again, ended up selling this to Grant Langston and his dad out at Glen Helen last October 2021. So I feel this build turned out really well, just like I had anticipated, from the exhaust to the engine rebuild to the way that was able to modernize it with new plastics. The plastics all fit really well with the mounting brackets that I made. So check out the